he says, what's the difference between sets in a formation? So he basically says, like,
Yep.
you have not necessarily the packages, but like
Single back wing pair. Ace overload.
yes,
Okay.
a little bit of that, like just receivers moving kind of across the area. Like why is this good?
So there's two different things. One is personnel. It really is about personnel. That's the 90% of it. It's personnel. So if you come out in this example wing pair, you're running a 1 receiver, 3 tight end look.
Yes.
With that 1 halfback. That's what this formation
3
is.
tight ends on the right, you got
Right.
the halfback, and then you got a receiver.
Well, when you really break it down, okay, say, well, why would I want to do that? Okay, well, the purpose of that is that you will overload the defense with bigger body players, and you'll be able to run the ball, and if you have the right athletic type tight ends, you can still pass the ball really well. This is where Mutt becomes really fun, because you can get Rob Gronkowski, Kelsey, I was going to say Tony Eifert, Tyler Eifert out on the field, right? So you can have all great tight ends that can run block, but also are dynamic in the passing that are almost like wide receivers. So that's where the purpose of these formation sets are. The other one is to get your players into specific parts of the field to change like the concepts that you can run. So for example, if I were let's do this. Like if I were to go to like a standard gun doubles, okay?
Yep.
Well, if I were to run this formation on the right side of the field, I can really flood zones really well.
Because you have 3 dudes.
Because I have 3 receivers, so that gives me 3 resources to flood a zone. And a great way to flood zone is a vertical, a corner, and a flat. On the left side of the field, it's a lot harder to do that because there's only 2 receivers over there. So what ends up happening is the way they break the formations down, like the purpose of moving guys around is, okay, now I'm going to move the halfback to the left. I'm still in the same personnel grouping, same players,
right,
but I'm going to move the halfback left. It still looks the same, but now I can get the halfback onto that left flat a little bit quicker, and now I can attack on the left side.
So show me a play that would flood a zone from the 4th set, doubles, and then show me a play, don't even have to go into it, but
sure.
And then show me a play that would flood it potentially from...
Like Z-spot. Z-spot is going to flood on the right because you had a corner, a halfback table route, halfback to the flat, and then you would hot route that far right receiver to a vertical.
The blue route to a streak. So that would flood the right, and then you go to the formation next to it, which you can quickly audible to in the game. Gronk drops off the line a little bit, but now you have a play like switch fork. You'd streak the outside left guy if you wanted, or you could leave him on that deep post. Pretty good route. That's going to flood zone to the other side, and it's very, very similar. Same players, just the halfback moves.
Let's get this one thing, like, okay, when you look at football and the way that they are creating plays, what was one thing I said earlier about I-form tight? Really what it comes down to is you run the same concept from every formation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're just changing up the alignment and the personnel.
Inside cross mesh, boom, that's a slot receiver and a tight end.
In a Z-spot.
But you see that with the 2 tight ends all
Correct.
the time.
Absolutely.
You see that from the halfback
Right.
sometime.
So what teams do when you really break, like if you look at game film, if you go in on Sundays, we use NFL Rewind, right? And you watch what teams do. What they do is they'll take one concept and then they disguise that concept from multiple looks. So like I said, you could run gun split close, halfback wheel, okay? From a gun split look, you get 3 receivers out there, 2 backs. Okay, well then you're just going to drop down to I tight. We just said look, this is the example.
Then you run X under.
Gun split close, right? So I want to run halfback wheel. The routes on that play, a post, table route, corner route, and then the deep in. I'm going to change it to a vertical, okay? That halfback wheel, remember those routes, okay? Now I go back to I tight. Different personnel, different groupings. It's a run-oriented style. I want to run that same passing concept. PA tight end corner. Look at the routes. It's the same concept. I want to attack the flat, the corner, the vertical, and the post.
They have single back ace deuce close.
No, ace close.
Ace close.
Yeah.
Let's see it. I'm trying to see if they got anything similar. Even in that, like even in a set like that.
Well, I mean, you can find it everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's go to. You don't have a post.
They have tight slots.
But let's go a slot, like
Yeah.
right here, right? I bet. Let's see if we have something similar to. Sort of slot out, sort of. It doesn't. You don't like.
It's not a corner. It's
you can't do it in Madden, obviously, because you can't make routes. Like, you can't make posts and corners, so you can't, like, make everything perfect. But let's take a look at this right here. Like, let's take a look. So, halfback wheel. Not really. But you can make that same concept everywhere, basically, though. Like, that's the whole the point of what we're saying here. Like, for example, you go to a slot offset. I want to run level sail, okay? The strength of this is the corner and the halfback table. Okay, that's the strength of that. It's concept is disguised now when I go back over to right here and I go to Z spot, remember? That concept is now just in a different formation. It's disguised there. You're still running virtually the same thing. On the left side of the field, you have a deep in. I could drag the slot in the far left, vertical the far right, and now I have the same concept going. I run on levels, drag like. That's what it boils down to. So just keep that in mind. We got a little deep there, but it's fun.
Yeah, no, that's what this player's looking for. He wants to get better. He likes when we get deeper
Hopefully
into stuff. Hopefully that will help you improve your game. If you have any other specific questions, let us know. We even have, I mean, this is the 238th episode, so we've gone over stuff like this in different Maddens year over year over year. We tell you what a mesh does. We tell you all the time. It works. It works every year. Yeah, the game will play slightly differently, but like there's always things that work. There's always things you want to do, and so when you learn that stuff, you get so much better at the beginning of the next year. You learn it. You invest the time in one Madden, and then you get so much better every Madden in the future.
Right. That base understanding of how to attack zone, I would say that's the most important thing I think we've ever probably like when it comes to talking about Madden tips. Like that's probably the most important thing you could ever know. Corner, vertical, flat.
Bam.
Like that one mindset changes the whole entire way you're going to play the game. And the way you see the game.
Makes your opponent have to make adjustments,
right.
And stock coverages, you'll start beating them. You'll start just killing the computer.